Joined now by United States Senator Rick Scott of Florida. Good morning, Senator. Thank you for joining me again.
So I get to go back today. I'm out of quarantine now. I get to go back and deal with these Democrats that they're clearly showing they don't care about the Americans that are getting hurt by this. I mean, nothing they've done so far to say they care.
Let me just set the context. I have been on the air since 1990. I have broadcast through national crises like 9/11, Katrina, the 2008 financial crisis, and I broadcast through political 9.0 earthquakes like the Thomas and Kavanaugh confirmations, the deadlock in Florida in 2000, the 16 election. Those two tracks, crises and political meltdowns, have never intersected until today. I have never seen a political party hold America hostage like today. Never.
They don't care. This is why the Democrats should never, ever be in charge of anything, because they don't care about the American public. They care about their liberal agenda, and they're going to do everything they do. They're going to do exactly what Rahm Emanuel said. They're not going to let the crisis go to waste, and they're going to try to, put on Americans a whole bunch of their liberal policies.
Now, Senator, I'm also a CEO of a small foundation, the Nixon Foundation. I've got employees who are working from home. I've got no revenue. No admissions, no events, none. I'm like every other small business in America. What the hell are you doing, America, Congress, to make up revenue, whether it's in a loan that will be forgiven or whether it's in a loan? What are you going to do to make up revenue interruption? And the Democrats are talking about diversity on corporate boards. What in the hell are they thinking?
So think about it. There's two groups that we've got to quickly help. We've got to help the people that have lost their jobs, and a lot of it are the hourly workers, a lot of it is the tip workers, a lot of the Uber drivers, all these people. We got to quickly help them. They got to put food on the table. I remember what it was like for my mom when there was. If my mom was alive, I said this just. What would she do if she just went? Because she never had any money. Went to no money, just no money. What is she going to do? And we got to help our small businesses that employ most of Americans. And they went from revenue to no revenue, and they clearly want to take care of their employees. But let's quickly get something done here. We don't have to break the bank. We can still be fiscally responsible. But why are we going to bail out big companies? Let's focus on the small employers, and let's focus on the people that the people like my work with you that are hurting right now.
And by the way, I think everyone who gets laid off this week can thank Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. If they have no hope, if they have no revenue, I heard your colleague Susan Collins talk about a diner in Lewiston that have never closed. They've closed because we have not delivered relief.
The stories that I'm hearing from small businesses, that they had 6 restaurants, they're building a great business, and they just went to nothing. There's so many stories of these little companies, and these people are distraught. And you just see your heart goes out to them, because when you have no money, you got kids. It's a tough life for these people right now. And then you watch the Democrats; they don't care. No, we got some liberal stuff we got to get done here, so we're going to hold everybody up. We don't want to help people. So.
Business interruption insurance is something that's valuable for small businesses, but it does not insure against a virus. The government can step in as effectively a business interruption insurance agent. Is that part of the plan?
Well, the way to do it is let small businesses. I think the right way of doing it is lend money to small businesses. They'll figure out how to spend the money the best way, and then make sure. We already have a robust unemployment system. If we need to expand it. When I left as governor of Florida, we had $4 billion in the bank. Employers have already paid into this, and so let's use that. Maybe we should expand it. If you lose, your hours are cut, your pay was cut. We can expand it that way. We have a system, and it can operate faster than any government program. So I think we ought to be doing those things as quickly as we can.
On the business side, revenue interruption is the metric that makes sense to me. If you can show me in March and April of last year you did $20,000 a month and this year you're doing nothing, then I think we ought to loan you $40,000 for those 2 months. That is, to me, simple and elegant.
The fastest way we can get money to them, I've been talking about for a week and a half, is give them a moratorium on their their financial payments, their rent, their mortgages, their car payments. To give it to anybody impacted, small businesses, individuals. That will be the fastest money. It's way faster than anything government can do. So don't make them pay their credit cards for 30 or 60 days. You don't let them off the hook, but you say we'll postpone that. I was talking to one of the banking institutions yesterday, and they're doing that. They've already done it to 100. I think they said 115,000 customers. That's what I mean. Thank God there's some wonderful people, wonderful companies out there that are helping people like that. But we ought to do a moratorium for 30 or 60 days on financial transactions. Mortgage,
I think that's great, but Senator Scott, that will not help the Lewiston diner. Senator Collins, I know you weren't in the chamber yesterday. You're out of quarantine today. Senator Collins said they've never been closed. I assume they own their own real estate. They own their own physical process. All they need is revenue. And revenue replacement is what everybody in the country needs revenue replacement of about the equivalent of 8% of GDP by my calculation. It's a hell of a lot of spending, but it will restart the engine of the American economy right away.
Well, we've got to figure out how we get money to small businesses quickly. But on top of that, we've got to figure out how we get the coronavirus behind us. I put out a report yesterday that just showed how fast it's growing state by state. So let's look at who's doing what, who's stopping the growth of this faster than other places, and let's start doing what they're doing. If you look at the state of Washington, it's not growing as fast as New York. So what is the state of Washington doing that's driving down the growth rate there versus New York? And let's do it. More testing. And, we've got to figure out what's working better. Are they using drugs differently? What are they doing to stop this? Faster.
Best practices. I'm going to talk to Surgeon General next hour. I'm going to talk to him about best practices. But I want to stay with you for a legislative moment because I've been trying to persuade a couple of your colleagues offline. There are trillions of dollars in retirement assets, liquidity, that people cannot get to because they are prohibitively expensive. 10% penalty if you're not 60 and older, and then regular income.
We should allow them to do that.
Take it out at 10% flat tax.
We've got to create liquidity right now. We got to give people, if it's their money, let them spend it.
Yeah, let me get this harpoon into you. Just an unlimited withdrawal at a 10% flat tax. You'll raise money. Everyone will use it. We will flood the country with liquidity. But Congress is it's where new ideas go to die.
Right. Well, because because the Democrats, it's all politics for them. They're not focused on the American public. It's all everything they do is about politics.
Well, when do you return to the chamber, Senator?
Today. So okay. I'm done. So I'll get a briefing on what happened overnight, and we'll hopefully get something. I mean, look, my goal was we've got to get something done.
Do not hold back. I thought Senator Collins being shut down by Chuck Schumer yesterday was a low point in the history of the Senate. I thought Sherrod Brown insulting Tom Cotton, who has carried a rifle, when Sherrod Brown has only carried a briefcase for the last 40 years, he insulted him on the floor of the Senate. What the hell is happening to the Senate?
Let me tell you, it's dysfunctional. People don't get along. I mean, the Democrats, a lot of them they won't even talk to me because I won't agree to their stuff. I mean, it's just liberal politics. They don't care about the public anymore. They've lost it.
All right, talk to me a little bit about Florida, Senator. I think Ron DeSantis is doing a great job, but we obviously still have social distancing issues with some people who are using the beach. I know you were famous, along with Chris Christie, for hurricane preparedness. What do we have to do to get through to these people?
First off, we all have to keep talking to them. We have to talk to everybody, and we got to explain what you just did might kill your grandmother. What you just did might kill a coworker. And what you just did might hurt somebody else. And so we've got to be very direct at what these individuals are doing and hold them accountable.
And do you think that's effective? Is it being effectively communicated by the president in his press conferences?
Well, look, I think the president is out there talking every day about what we ought to be doing. I put out a plan of how to get. We've got to give some people some hope. I believe in this country. I believe we're going to get past this, but we've got to give people hope. I put out a plan last week that said if we do social distancing, if we quarantine everybody that's either tested positive or been around somebody that's tested positive, we're going to get a robust testing system. We shut down the airports, shut down the borders, give people, doctors, the ability to use whatever drugs have been approved by the FDA. I think we're going to get past this pretty quickly because it has to go through a body. If you don't get it, you can't give it to anybody else. So stay home if you can, but we also got to keep this economy going. People cannot just go with no money.
I agree. Senator Scott, good luck today. Remember, liquidity resides in those retirement accounts. Let people use them. They'd rather make up their retirement later and save their business today. Thank you, Senator.
I agree.